To put a little makeup on. Coming back to you live from downtown Pomona. It's Mia Vanna presents the R&R podcast where we talk sports, entertainment, and cigars. Part 2, episode 41. We got a guest tonight. I'm going to let Rob introduce him, and we're going to see what it do.
That's Steve Bradford. Happy to have you, man. We did a little research. You know, Randy and I didn't do a lot of homework in high school. We got clip notes and cheated, but I did a little homework, man. So you were a representative. You were representing my neighborhood, Hawthorne, Del Air, Gardena, that whole area, man. I found out you went to Perchie Elementary School.
I did. Still live on Perchie.
Oh, man, I grew up right there. So I grew up at by Cimarron Elementary.
Exactly where it is.
So where you grew up, I'm not going to say the name of the fellas over there, but that was on the other side of El Segundo. You and I both know. But if you were an athlete, you could go over to Raleigh Park and play.
Exactly.
So you went to Perchie, and then you went to Henry Clay, which was my neighborhood junior high. I went to Audubon because Audubon had the prettier girls. But and then you went to Gardena.
Amen.
So talk about growing up in Gardena.
Hey, it was a unique experience. My family was the first African-American family on Perchie. So we moved in 1969.
Okay.
We experienced white flight in living color, in real time. But it created a unique opportunity for me to live in a diverse neighborhood and experience different cultures and things of that nature and challenge myself and expand upon what I was used to or thought. And so I appreciated it so much so that it led me to go into public office. I ran for city council in the city of Gardena, became the first African-American elected to that city council. And I still live there today.
Okay, awesome. And then you went, I read you went to San Diego State, and then you finished at my alma mater, Cal State Dominguez.
Correct.
Where did you finish at Dominguez?
Did I finish?
Sound like me.
83.
83. Okay,
Yeah.
so a little bit before
84.
me. Trivia question. What is the name of the Cal State Dominguez mascot?
It's Toro.
There you go. There you go. That's it. I guess it really went there.
Trying to trick him, homie.
And so he was there, like when I was there, when I started, it was a commuter school. It was a lot of adults that came at night. They had the statewide nursing program. A lot of adults came there at night, so it didn't have really a college feel. Now it's completely different. I don't know if you've been there recently, man. That school has grown exponentially since since I finished in 1991, and since you finished. Have you had a chance to go back at all?
Only to the point of getting them $85 million over the last 2 years.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Also serving on the Dimely Institute on the campus.
I love that.
I'm on the campus probably 2 or 3 times a quarter.
Okay.
No, I'm very much connected to Cal State Dominguez Hills.
And that's the most diverse state university in the state of California.
Without a doubt.
That's great.
Wow.
So I'm glad. Yeah. Are you there? The
In my
most diverse.
hometown.
In your hometown, Carson. Carson is in the house.
Yeah.
So what led you to public office? What made you want to do that? And what are the different roles you had?
Probably insanity, but really, when I went to San Diego State, I was a biology major. I had every intention of being a doctor. That's all I knew. My mother was a retired nurse. I grew up in a medical household, so that's what I wanted to do. And after 3 years at San Diego State, I looked at my GPA and realized I wasn't going to nobody's medical school unless I repeated a whole lot of classes. I wasn't willing to do that. Moved back home and enrolled at Cal State Dominguez Hills. Changed my major to poli-sci, but I met an individual that we all should know in the state of California across this nation by the name of Merv Dimely.
Oh, yeah, I remember Merv Dimely. Yeah.
Mark Dimely was his son. We happened to be in political science class together. Mark introduced me to his father. His father took a liking to me. If you don't know Merv Dimely, he was the former assemblyman in the state of California, the first black senator in California, the only black lieutenant governor we ever had, and a U.S. congressperson as well. So, I mean, he's an institution. That's why we have the Dimely Institute at Cal State Dominguez Hills. So it was he that not necessarily encouraged me to run for office, but get involved in my community. And it was through his encouragement, his mentorship, that I start working on and volunteering on campaigns and things of that nature, and it led to where I am today.
So city council, you served a year as the mayor of Gardena?
I was vice mayor.
Vice mayor. What year was that?
I was vice mayor every 4 years, and I served for 12 years. So,
okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Very
years.
good.
Yeah.
Very good. And then what were the roles you had after that? After being, local, city government, what did you do after that?
I went to the state assembly. I
Okay.
served just 5.5 years. I won a special election in 2009.
Okay.
And I served in the assembly till 2014 when I was termed out. And then I had a 2-year hiatus. And in 2016, I became one of only 2 black senators in the state of California.
Okay.
And my term just ended in December.
Okay. So what, go ahead, Randy, go ahead.
No, you got it.
So what are you doing now? What are you looking for? Are you going to run for senator again? What is
I've
the
termed
future
out
hold?
as Senate. Up until 3 weeks ago, I was running for lieutenant governor.
Okay.
And I was doing that because, one, it's an important job. It's not a glamorous job. It has no power, but everybody hears the title. But it was because of my exposure to the job through Merv Dimely, who was, like I say, the only African-American lieutenant governor.
Yeah.
As of 3 weeks ago, I changed. I was asked to consider insurance commissioner, and I announced 3 weeks ago I'm running for insurance commissioner, which is clearly the toughest job in the state of California right now, and probably in the nation, based on our volatile insurance market right now, and all that happens with wildfires, earthquakes. It's going to be a tough job. So I need my head examined, but I decided to do it.
So expand on that. What's some of the roles that you're going to play if you're elected as the, in that position?
You have to regulate the industry. You're going to have to bring not only the consumers to the table, you're going to have to bring the insurance industry to the table, the contractors, the body shops, the lawyers. As you drive down the freeway nowadays, what do you see? What's the number one billboard you see? Trial lawyers, consumer attorneys who are suing somebody. So you have to do that. You're going to have to bring together the Ubers and the Lyfts too, because they carry a enormous insurance policies that's far different than anybody else. So it's going to require somebody to be able to bring all those folks together, sit down in a room and have grown-up conversations and say, hey, your rates might have to go up, but at the same time, you might have to cut them in these areas for consumers to afford it, because it makes no sense. If you can't afford insurance, you can't buy a house in California.
That's true. Will you be able to do that job living where you live now in Gardena?
Yeah. I mean, I did legislature for 14 years, lived in Gardena, never moved. It's a statewide office. So I have 3 options. You can go to Sacramento during the week. We have a capital office in downtown LA, and we have a capital office in San Diego. So I can work out any of those offices.
Okay.
That's
good.
cool.
How is Gardena? Because, I went to back to Hawthorne. I grew up right there on Tehran Avenue, 116th. The neighborhood has changed. They have houses on my old street selling for $920,000. I never thought I'd see that. How has Gardena changed?
Well, again, my family moved to Gardena in 1969.
A few years ago.
They paid $25,000 for that house.
Okay.
33 years later, I bought the house on the same street down the street from my mother. I paid $140,000 for mine. Just a couple of weeks ago, a house on my street sold for over $900,000.
Wow.
So,
in Gardena.
In Gardena. So I tell folks, even if I wanted to move on the street that I grew up on, I couldn't afford to do that today, even as a state legislature, and we're the highest paid legislature in the country. I couldn't afford to live in Gardena.
That's crazy. Have you seen, has the neighborhood, to me, it feels like my own neighborhood's become more diverse. It's different.
Well, again, my family was the first black, and we saw white flight for the first 4 or 5 years where, one day you had a friend and the next day you saw the house for sale. And for the last 45, 50 years, Holly Park, which is that community between Rosecrans and El Segundo, Crenshaw and Western, has been predominantly African-American. And a lot of times folks say, well, I don't want to move to Gardena. I don't want to move to Holly Park. But Holly Park was the highest income, the highest education per capita for the city. Wow. Now, as folks are moving out in the last 5 or 6 years, I don't have a single African-American neighbor on either side of me. That's how diverse. Oh, no, it's Asian, whites, and I'm not against diversity, but that's who's moving into the neighborhoods now. It's not us.
It's not us.
So it's going back. Gentrification is real.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about NIL. So what was your role in this whole name, image, likeness? What was your role in that?
I was a joint author, myself and Nancy Skinner, my colleague from Berkeley. We authored the bill. A lot of folks don't realize a black guy from Gardena and a white woman from Berkeley authored the bill that revolutionized college sports. But it was after a long discussion and debate and growing up with friends who played college sports and professional sports, understanding those challenges. I grew up playing sports. I coached for 19 years before I went to the legislature, baseball and football. knew plenty of athletes that went on to college, and I knew the struggles that athletes were having. Just because you're on a scholarship doesn't mean all your expenses are taken care of. And a lot of people believe that. Right. So after meeting with tons of folks and being convinced to do this bill, because I originally wasn't sold on it because we weren't the first to try it. Like we say in the legislature, ain't nothing new. You know, you just do it again. So, and meeting with Ramogi, I can't remember Ramogi's last name, who started the National Collegiate Players Association. Mm-hmm. He was a sponsor of the bill. It helped us bring all the data and bringing all these athletes together. And we just said, hey, let's go for it. Yeah. And we did.
And it's kind of blown up now. You have all these athletes, you know, they're negotiating contracts. They have agents. They're in high school signing endorsement deals.
Yes, sir.
It's blown up, man. You got high school kids getting endorsements. Jason Crow out of Inglewood High School, Jason Crow Jr., all the top players are doing it now, man. It's good. They should share the revenue because for years, you know, you got a lot of college athletes over here. You know, you were getting a scholarship, you were getting a stipend. You didn't have money to eat on Sunday night. They fed you Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. You better have $5 to get pizza. Now guys are, you know, negotiating $2 million, $3 million. The quarterback at Michigan, Underwood, got $10 million.
Ooh.
So, but you bringing in money. The big house is getting 108,000 people every game.
Right.
You know, when the Fab Five was at Michigan, their jerseys were selling and they weren't getting any money. They weren't getting any money legally. They were getting some money illegally. Chris Webber was for sure getting money, but that's another story. We're not going to talk about that on here. But go ahead. You have a question? Go ahead.
Like, so you give UCLA $10 million and they use that for. Well, really, it's the athlete themselves. Now they're trying to tweak it where the universities now are controlling the money, and that's not what we initially wanted to build. We don't want it. But I tried to amend the bill 2 years ago to include non-revenue sports and we had the pushback on that. Oh, it was tremendous. But I'm saying, hey, if you're not generating any revenue, but football is willing to share some, the basketball teams are willing to share some, but we couldn't cut that deal. As you said, many of these college athletes, they think just because you're on scholarship, all your expenses are paid for. And as far as thing from the truth, like you say, go to bed hungry many a night. Mm-hmm. I went to San Diego State with plenty of athletes that I loaned them money. I was a club promoter during my time in college. I always had money in my pocket.
Okay.
And so I loaned plenty. My late friend Clint Sampson, who went on to the NFL, loaned him money. Probably gave Vernon Dean a ride home a few times and went on in the NFL. So people think just because, we even saw kids that were from California going to play back east, didn't even have an overcoat. And most you had was a windbreaker. So, but at the same time, these coaches are now making millions of dollars, flying around the country in private jets, coming to recruit these kids. But if these kids had to go home for Christmas or emergency, they couldn't get on that same private jet and get home. Can't do that. And like you said, couldn't sign their own name on their own jersey to make any money. But let's say if you were on a scholarship and you were a computer science major, or you were a music major, or you were a film major and you were on scholarship and you produced a film like John Singleton did while at USC, you can monetize that. If you're a music major and you produced a record, you can monetize that. But as an athlete, you can monetize. So we had to level the playing field for that.
That's good. I think,
y'all made it make sense. Y'all made it make sense.
Yeah. Who were some of the athletes at San Diego State? So was Tony Gwynn there with you?
Tony Gwynn was there with me. Michael Cage. Jimmy Wilk.
Okay.
Like I say, Vernon Dean. Mm-hmm. I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, we had a stellar group of folks there.
In your neighborhood, you guys turned out a lot of athletes. I remember going to Raleigh Park. A couple years probably younger than you. Are you class of 78?
78.
So class of 82 was great in Gardena. Ontario Johnson, Anthony Frederick, we called him Buddha, played at Pepperdine, played in the league. Ramford, Jeep Jackson played at Gardena, who rest in peace, played at UTEP, was a great player. That was good. That was the 82 team that went, Chris knows a lot of them, that went to the city semifinals. So you had 3 teams from your league, Banning, Carson, and Gardena, all made it to the semis with Crenshaw. And then Carson won it that year. What were some of your fondest memories of sports in Gardena?
Wow. just playing. Like I said, I grew up playing baseball and football.
Okay.
And I was a 3-year letterman in golf, of all things.
Okay.
I was a golfer. I was
Okay.
a golfer well before it became popular. I was considered a nerd because I was on the golf team.
Okay.
But now everybody wants to play. So I laugh
yeah.
at all my friends who were, you know, athletes of the year and, you know, football players and baseball players and basketball players who can't hit a 4-iron if they like to pin it on it. So I said, oh, now you see how hard it was.
Exactly.
You know? So, but doing that and just like I said, George Farmer, who went on to the NFL.
Farmer,
George was a few years older than me, but we went to school at the same time. I helped coach his son when he played at Raleigh Park for Pop Warner and when he was over at Sierra. Just, I mean, a lot of tremendous athletes that came along. That
David Williams, Oliver Williams, that played at Sierra in my neighborhood.
Yep. And I'm drawing a blank on golly.
Clarence Nunn is from Gardena.
Exactly.
Played at San Diego State, played in the league. Who's your team? Who's your basketball team?
You know, I'm from LA. I root for the Lakers, but I'm a Clipper fan. I also did the Bill. No, but hold it.
Can we get the sound effects?
I
sound effects. One more time.
How many folks have been to the Intuit Dome?
I haven't been there. I heard it's nice.
I did the legislation for that.
Okay.
You got to understand, you can't build a stadium or a football arena in California without the legislature approval. A lot of people say it's up to local government. Yes, they first have to approve it, but then you have to state. Why do you think Oakland, both the A's and the Raiders, are leaving and going to Nevada? Because they couldn't get their deal done. Libby Shipp was walking through the Capitol at the same time. Steve Ballmer and Jerry West and golly, come on, the coach at the time. In my office for the Clippers.
Clippers, not Doc.
Doc. They were all walking down the hall, you know,
trying to get it done.
They got to get it done, and they got it done.
You got it done.
They had to come to the legislature to get it done. So.
Okay, who's your baseball team?
Dodgers. I grew up a Dodger fan. You know, I
was gonna say Dodgers and Angels.
No, I was a Dodger fan.
Okay, who's your football team?
I grew up Rams and the Raiders when the Raiders were in LA. I mean, Roman Gabriel. I mean. Merlin Olsen, Deacon Jones used to date somebody around the corner from me, and I used to play catch in the middle of the street with Mr. Jones when he came over to go see his girlfriend.
Okay. Yeah. So let me ask you this: are you a big basketball fan? Like, which do you watch the most?
My mother's the big basketball fan, so anytime at her house or around her, I have to watch basketball. My mother's a big basketball fan.
So we always ask trivia: if you had an all-time starting five, you could only have one of these positions, so you can't have Kobe and Jordan. Who would it be?
Magic, Kareem.
Yep. Who's your two guard?
Who's my two guard? I'm gonna say it because he's my buddy, Norm Nixon.
Hey, can we get that?
But no, I mean,
so Magic at the one. So two guard Nixon.
No, I'm just. I love Norm. He's a good buddy of mine.
To win a championship, who's your two guard?
Probably Jerry West. No, Jerry's.
Okay.
No,
Jerry's a two.
Yeah,
he's a 1-2. Okay. Jerry West. Who's your three?
I don't know.
Worthy.
Oh, James. Yeah.
Okay,
big game. Big game.
So, what's the future of NIL? Where do you see it going? How are they going to regulate it? You got the transfer portal. You got kids going crazy.
Yeah. It has to be reined in a little bit more.
I agree. We talked about that, Randy.
The portal is out of control, and we didn't envision that. It's so crazy. When we were doing the bill, NC2A was the number one opposition to the bill. Emirates at the time was chair, and he was blowing the governor up, saying, hold the bill. We don't want to see it. It's going to change college sports, which it has for the better.
Yeah,
but,
I agree.
But that's why I amended it twice and tried to rein it in a little bit more because we saw some of the challenges that were happening. So you can still tweak it a little bit more. We need to bring it in a little bit.
Randy, we've talked about that.
We talked about that. It does need to be regulated.
The portal, the NIL.
Around.
Yeah. We didn't never envision kids just being able to shop around like that.
Yeah. Right. And then, you hear about the good stories, but I'm sure it's a lot of horror stories out there too.
Yeah.
You know
kids not getting money.
Getting paid.
The quarterback at UNLV got promised money. He didn't get it. He left. The kid, Jaden Rashada, got promised money from Florida. He didn't get it.
Right.
The Texas A&M was going crazy because they were putting together all these LLCs, and that's how they got that top recruiting class. And then it fell flat. A lot of those kids ended up leaving. Like Walter Nolan. A lot of those kids left. But A&M has the most money. A&M, Texas, Ohio State,
yes,
Alabama,
right,
maybe Michigan and Georgia. So you got to regulate it some kind of way.
Regulate it
because it's going to be the rich getting richer.
Right.
That's why even they're blaming NIL for USC and UCLA leaving the Pac-12 too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let me do this. We usually start with this. We usually have 5 cigar questions. So you do smoke cigars. I asked you that when you walked in. How'd you get started smoking cigars? Like, I got started because Randy.
That's a lie.
He got me started smoking cigars. How did you get started smoking cigars?
On the golf course.
On the golf course. Makes sense.
Good place.
What's your favorite cigar?
Amani #2 or the Partagas.
Ooh, he knows his cigars. Okay. And what would you say are your top 5 cigars? Not the best 5, but your favorite. Do you have 5?
See, I have 5. I like I said, I like the
2,
Monte Cristo.
yeah.
I like the Partagas. I love golly, help me out.
Davidoff.
I like the Davidoff, but it's
Opus X.
I got boxes in my house that are going bad, and what can I call the ones right now?
Let me ask you a question. What's your address in Gardena?
Yeah.
Because I know that neighborhood.
I'm like Tupac. I ain't hard to find.
Yeah.
Okay?
We ain't want to let them go to waste though.
Hey, I know Perchy. You go Van Ness, cross El Segundo, get to 132nd, make a right, and Perchy's right there.
I'm working in Gardena.
There's 2
this
neighborhoods
week.
you are. There's 2 neighborhoods in Gardena.
I'm building
the Deuce and the 9. I don't know if he knows about that.
The senior citizen.
That may be a little bit too much. The Deuce and the 9.
Right there off 162nd by the school.
Back redoing right there on the city property, right?
Yeah. I'm doing that. Yeah. I was there today. I'll be there tomorrow.
That's the good part of Gardena. That ain't where we from.
That's it. That's
160.
What it says. 160?
That ain't.
No, we're the good part. I'm trying to tell you, Holly Park has the greatest home value in that city right now. Like I said, the highest education, highest income per capita, and it's been like that for 45, 50 years. But we always are getting a negative rap because it's black folks. We don't have no violence over there. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I ain't been there in 30 years, so
I know you were running from. You know,
I know you were running from. No, I'm gonna come back to your address.
It's all good.
We're gonna come pick up those cigars.
It's all good. But why can't I call Uptons? I like the Uptons.
Yeah,
and it's
which other one?
It's I see the box right now. Help me out, guys. Where is it?
Oliva.
Not
what is
Romeo and Juliet's? I have those, and it's one other. It's black and red. It's a
not CAO.
No,
black and red. Romeo and Juliet. We'll think of it.
And
last 2 questions.
Yeah,
perfect drink with a cigar.
I like tequila. I'm a tequila guy.
Yeah,
sipping añejo.
Añejo. We had some añejo.
Yeah.
So we had a tequila company, Istique Tequila, and they brought añejo. It's phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Like 3 weeks
I don't
ago.
even drink tequila.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. Bomb. And then
I'm gonna see him this week.
Yeah, Cava de Oro extra añejo is really good. Lastly, what's the perfect meal with a cigar?
I'm not a foodie, so I'm the wrong one to ask. But anything to fill my stomach, probably pizza.
Whatever fills your stomach.
You know, some Mexican food. You know, taco, burrito.
Anything.
You know,
anything to fill your stomach before you smoke.
Exactly.
Anything else you want to share about NIL?
NIL, I mean, it's the future, and also who's benefiting. Also, what led me to do it was women. The ladies are now, because we know it's very few pro opportunities for women in sports outside of basketball and tennis and maybe volleyball. It's no opportunity. So these young ladies are now making money, taking advantage of it. So I'm excited about that as well. That was one of the biggest motivators for me to do it. To help women out as well.
Yeah. Last week, the pitcher out of Texas got a meal ticket.
Yeah, meal. I saw that. Yeah. That's good stuff, man. Yeah. That's good.
And also, the Major League just announced last week they're starting a pro league for softball.
Are they?
For the girls. Yeah.
Lovely. They need that.
And now even golfers are getting NIL deals.
That's good.
A lot of young golfers are getting NIL deals too. So
that's good, man. That's good. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
We're proud to have you. And you from the neighborhood, man.
From the neighborhood.
Yeah, from the neighborhood. And Holly Park, baby.
They got a question.
Negotiating a price that's fair for consumers and where they can still keep their doors open. I mean, so I don't have the answer right now. That's why it's going to require us to sit down in the room and crunch the numbers. I mean, really, because
crunch the numbers.
Businesses exist for one reason only, to make a profit. If they're not making the money, you won't be able to force them to stay here. And that's why we got to find that middle ground. I just participated in the Advocates Golf Professional Golf Association tournament just today and yesterday, and Farmers was there. I was able to have a conversation with some of the individuals who work for Farmers, just trying to get a mindset of what it is that they're going to need in order to keep them in this market. Because we have to stabilize the market. We do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got my bill today.
Yeah.
I give my insurance agent a hard time every year. I drive a car that's 15 years old and my rate goes up every year. And I'm like, I ain't had an accident. I said, I thought you're supposed to have a good driver's rate. I haven't had a ticket, haven't had an accident, but my rate goes up every year. So, but they're saying the cost of doing business goes up. So we got to figure it out. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I have all the answers. That's why it's going to require everybody to be in the room. Not just one side, everybody.
Yeah.
It is. That's why I really need my head examined for stepping out here. But I'm honored that people feel I might have the skill set to bring folks together and have some grown-up conversations in the room and say, how do we stabilize the market? Because everybody's going to feel a little pain. Everybody, in order to make this work, everybody's going to have to feel a little pain in here.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Good question.
Well, good, man.
Go
Thanks
vote. Go vote.
Go vote, baby. NIL insurance.
NIL insurance.
Yeah, episode 41, part 2. This was a pleasure, man. This was, really nice.
Hey, we're going to get you an R&R cigar, too. I'm going to get you one. I'm going to go to, that's our cigar. So, you got to smoke that.
Yeah, Randy and
hottest
Robert,
thing on the market.
Randy and Robert. All right.
Somebody else I just October London.
He has his own cigar?
Yeah, I'm going to see him Sunday at the Jazz Festival in San Diego.
Where'd you see him?
I'm seeing him Sunday.
Where'd you see him? Out and about?
I saw him last January in Hollywood. I saw him 2 weeks ago at the Peacock.
Okay.
I've seen him 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
In fact, I have a jazz festival.
Okay.
Gardena Jazz Festival.
That's you? Okay, Raleigh
Oh,
Park.
that's you?
Okay.
They having it soon. Yeah, that's what Lenny was talking about.
We tried to book him last year, but we
Okay. Yeah, we
Okay,
got to
all
stay
right.
there.
Yeah, we have. Yes.
Yeah.
hold it out like that.
Yeah. Plug that. Yeah.
Right, 22 years.
Yeah, we got to talk, man. My buddies all go to that. I didn't know that was you. We'll definitely stay in touch. Yeah, I'm right there. I can go on that side of El Segundo now.
You safe.
I'm safe. Yeah. There you go, baby. I love it. All right, man. Let's give him a hand.
Give him a hand, Steve
man.
Bradford.
Steve Bradford. Good job, brother. We
Author of
appreciate
the
you.
NIL, running for the insurance commissioner.
Appreciate you.
Right here on near Havana. Oh,
Yeah,
this
I got
next
I
guest.
did my homework, man.
Yeah, he's.
And I'm a Toro too. I played there, man.
Yes.
All day.
Oh, this
87
next
and
guest. We
91.
finna go back in history, y'all.
Really? That's my boy, yeah.
I still got eligibility.
Yeah, can you play? And you know, my coach, I played for Yanai, who lives in Gardena. That's my boy.
I was in high school.
When he was at, when he's like, he lives still in Gardena, off right there off Redondo Beach in Western, same house. That's my coach. I played for him for 4 years. I know Booker Turner, the referee. That's your uncle. D1. Yeah. I know Booker well. D1. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
D1. That's good stuff, man.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
I play the Ganesha right here in Pomona, but I can't. You're gonna hear the little story right now because my homeboy out of Carson here. Yeah, I played for his dad.
His dad over there.
Yeah.
Chris Walsh.
Yeah.
So his dad ran Slam and Jam.
Slam and Jam.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Brother.
Might get a follower after this.
Yeah.
All right. Part 2.
Part 3.
Part 3. We got a part 3 tonight.
Yeah, we're ready for you.
Andre Lathan on the boards. My homeboy. Oh, this is gonna be a good one here. Oh,
Come on, Wash.
come on, Wash.
I know you right there. I noticed that. Chris Wash,
You can go that way.
still in shape.
Still in
He
set.
look like he's ready to play. There you go.
Put that mic right there. Let me get ready. I think it's on.
Testing.
Song. Yeah, it's on. You ready? Can you hear it? Let me see.
Testing.
Yeah.
Testing.
All right. Part 3,
You ready to start
41.
it, Drake?
Yeah, you ready to start it?
We on?
We on?
All right, man. Let's do it. We got Chris Walsh. We got a legend in here. A lot of cats came to see you, man. Talking about Slam and Jam. First question, though. You don't really smoke cigars, do you?
I do not.
Okay, so we want to ask you the cigar question. He said, I do not.
I do not.
Think about the cigar.
We want to ask you these cigar questions. So talk about, man, just playing ball at St. Bernard's, Victoria Park before that, Cal Berkeley. You had a legendary high school team. Nobody knows the St. Bernard's 83 team, all 5 starters went D1. Chris went to Cal Berkeley. Bobby went to Arizona State. Corey went to UCLA. Phil James went to Texas A&M. And then later El Camino and DePaul. And Rod Keller went to SC. That's never been done before or since. Well, all 5, maybe modern day. I take that back, but not all that graduated the same year. Because modern day's team, some graduated 84, Tom Lewis and Mitchell graduated 85. What was that like starting off at Victoria Park, man? Who were your early rivals?
Well, first of all, let me share that 9 out of those 12 players on that team,
On that Bernard's team?
got Division I scholarships.
9 out of 12.
Wow.
I think about 8 or 9 of us. I think 8 of us went to the Pac-10.
8 to the Pac-10, because I know Brian Williams, a.k.a. Slick, went to Irvine and later San Diego. Leonard went to Berkeley. Eric Knox went to Oregon State. Who else was on that team that got a D1? That's 8 right there.
Rod Keller.
Rod Keller, SC. Okay. What talk about Victoria Park? Who were the top players you played against there?
Well, one of my best experiences was somehow I made the all-star team as a 5th grader for 6th graders.
Uh-huh.
I sat the bench, and I picked up a lot of my bad habits that are actually good habits on the basketball court from that team.
Okay.
On that team, starting 5 was Eldridge Hudson,
Hud.
All-American.
Mm-hmm.
Jeep Jackson, who started in the backcourt with
Tim Hardaway at UTEP.
Gilbert Wilburn.
Gilsey Wilsey.
Killer
was
Dollar.
an unbelievable scorer.
Wichita
about
State.
20 points.
Mm-hmm.
Wichita State and then New Mexico,
New Mexico
State.
State.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wendell Wright was over there at New
Remember
Mexico
Wendell?
State with him.
Yep.
Richard Gwynn, the best athlete to ever come out of Carson.
Really? That played football
All CIF in football at Bourbon Day.
at Bourbon Day. He was the
Unbelievable
best.
point guard.
Was he?
Well, yeah, he played football. He was great in baseball. He was unbelievable in basketball. He went to Bourbon Day, so he ended up
football
couldn't do
player.
both sports.
Yeah. He was great in football.
What separated him was he took up boxing later on, was knocking people out. And on the pool, I'll never forget, he was always doing like all kinds of backflips.
He was that Richard. I know Richard Green well. He was that good of an athlete.
Mean-spirited dude.
Yeah, mean-spirited. Yeah.
Like, if you beat him, you had to run. You had to get out of the gym quick. He chased me home because I blocked his shot.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
That was a great team. I sat the bench, and I learned that I learned a lot of good things. Losing wasn't acceptable. You might get beat up in the locker room.
Okay.
They fought each other. We fought the other teams.
L. Hud, Gilbert. I can imagine with those two. L. Hud and Gilbert.
They
just
argued
those
the
two.
whole game. But,
Really?
they were extremely competitive.
Okay. What made your dad start Slam and Jam?
Well, the travel ball was just kind of getting started back then.
Mm-hmm.
And we were driving all the way out to the Valley to play in the ARC league. And felt like he was getting shafted by the refs. Number one, we were driving all the way out there, and one day he was just like, we're driving all the way out here, an hour and a half up, hour and a half back. There's all the talent is in Long Beach, Carson, Inglewood,
exactly, Compton,
South
Central
LA, not to mention that. He said, I'm going to start my own league.
What year was that? What grade were you in?
I was in the getting ready to go to the 9th grade.
9th grade. So that would have been
Like
79. 79, because your class of 83, 79.
So he's telling me about it. He showed me the logo. I said, well, what are you going to call it? And he said, Slam and Jam.
Wow.
And I remember, I'll never forget, I looked at him. I said, doesn't that sound too black? Yeah, he started the league. We started off having just getting anybody in the streets to referee the games. Had a snack bar. I ended up finding out later on that he allowed a lot of people to play for free.
Really? That doesn't surprise me.
You didn't have the money.
Yeah.
You didn't have to pay.
You'd have to pay.
You didn't
Okay.
have to pay.
I wasn't that lucky. I
But
paid.
you had to work in the snack bar.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you might have to referee as a
Mhm.
high school kid. You had to sweep the gym.
You gonna do something.
You had to do something.
And it's crazy. So Randy played for your dad. What grade were you in?
Ooh, man. So I got to Carson when I was in 5 years old. I
So
stayed
1950,
13.
1955.
72, 71. Moved to Carson on Fern Rock and Alvin from the Rock Block. You know what I'm saying? And I played on this team. Chris was on my team. Eric McKee. Wendell Wright. You remember
Wendell
this team?
Wright.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Timothy Trotman.
Timothy was murdered.
Yeah, I remember that. That's crazy. Randy was on. That's a famous
I think
story. of
Al was
Carson.
on our team. Wasn't Al on our
Al
team?
Washington?
No, I think that's when I played for Mr. Moore. Yeah, but on this team, I was the 12th man on the bench.
What grade were you in? 7th or 8th?
I had to be like 4th or 5th.
Oh, 4. Oh, younger.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And I never got no time. I got garbage time, but I got a lot of garbage time because y'all was blowing everybody out. So, you know what I mean? I moved from Carson. I moved here when I was 13. And the one person that stood out to me on that team was you, Eric McKee, all them dudes, Wendell, and Timothy Troutman, man. Used to always tell me, man, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. You know what I mean? Just be patient.
Was he decent?
Oh, he was cold.
Timothy was good.
It was cold, huh? Tim was cold.
That's crazy.
So when I got out here, I kind of just grew into my own and I did my thing, but it was because of y'all that y'all made me better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And your dad and I played for Mr. Moore. I played for Mr. Anderson. You know what I mean? I played with John them. And yeah, I remember it was coming up, but yeah, that was good days, Victoria Park. I played baseball there. I played baseball there. I played flag football, and I played basketball there. Yeah.
And what's crazy? Yeah, we got a lot of guys. So we got Carlton Davenport played in Slam and Jam. Sean Evans played in Slam and Jam. I played in Slam and Jam. We all played for your dad. We played in your dad's league, and we played for your dad.
Right.
So that's crazy. That was a great. I mean, I can't even say how many cats got college scholarships from that, man. Probably 500, 600, 1,000. It had to be 1,000.
I'm hearing 1,000.
1,000, I would say. That was the league in Southern California.
It was for us. It was all about the basketball.
Yeah, yeah.
And the love of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I didn't have to look too far to find people that were better than me. That I wanted to be like.
Okay.
For example, like I lived down the street, about 8 houses down from a guy named Eddie Gordon.
Yeah.
Eddie Gordon is the father of Aaron Gordon.
Right.
Oh wow!
He had 2 brothers that were amazing. Eddie Gordon's brothers were amazing.
And that's Aaron Gordon's dad.
Right. 2 houses down from on the other side was a guy named Chris Brazier. He played at Montana
I know Chris.
State.
That was my coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
My Slam and Jam coach.
And
Yeah.
2 houses down from him was a guy named Wendell Kaysen.
I don't know him.
So all this was like 6 houses one way. You know.
Yeah.
He played football, but he was an amazing basketball player. He played for the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
And Oregon Ducks.
Okay.
Was an amazing defensive back.
I got a start bench cut for you.
Okay.
Start bench cut in high school. John Williams, Dwayne Polee, L. Hutt. You got start one, bench one. You got to cut one. Who you gonna start? I said, look, that's a tough one. That's LA. He made a face. Hey, John Williams, Dwayne Polee, L. Hutt. Start one. You go first, and then Chris. Start one, bench one, cut one.
Everybody's got you. You have to go with John Williams.
I'm going with John. Who you going?
If your nickname is Allah.
If your nickname is Allah.
It's got to be John.
So who you gonna bench and who you gonna cut? High school. I got a bench Polee because he had 46 in the arena against Crenshaw. L. Hutton was great. He had 26 and 22. Polee had
24
46.
now.
24, my bad.
24.
Yeah.
26 points, 24 rebounds.
After who ran through the city?
Yeah,
Through the city. But Polee? Who you got? Go ahead, Chris.
I got to go with L. Hutt. Simply because he's from Carson.
That's right.
Here you go.
But L. Hutt took Carson High on his team when they won city. There's only one other person on that team
That played.
that got a Division I scholarship.
Mark Wilson.
No.
And then Mission Lobison went to UC Riverside. D2.
So L. Hut basically carried that team.
Yeah.
And he beat Crenshaw.
Yeah.
When Crenshaw was Crenshaw.
Right.
When they had
everybody.
Kevin Hamilton, Quentin Gates, Big John.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You're right.
So
That's true.
L. Hut. Now, with that being said, Dwayne Poley was probably the best. He played some of the best games I've seen. He was the most entertaining.
Was he? Why was he so entertaining?
He played with so much passion. He played so hard.
Okay.
He didn't really have a deep jumper.
Yeah.
But, man, he got to the basket. And I personally saw him when I was a sophomore. We played them. We played them twice. We were the only team to beat them.
What?
We beat them when they won City. And we had a bunch of sophomores, and we had a guy named Billy Knox.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw Poley get like 2 or 3 dunks in a row.
Okay.
Wow.
In the game.
I'm
sitting on the bench, and that was the one game I did not want to get in. I was enjoying watching him play so much.
You didn't want to see that. You just wanted to watch.
No, I wanted to watch him.
You wanted to watch him. I got another start bench cut for you. Say it again. Because he went to UNLV.
Because he went
biased.
to UNLV, biased.
I know that before he went to Pepperdine. See, he's a football player. He don't know about Big John. He's a football player. He don't know. It's okay. It's okay.
That's why he's losing the dominoes over there.
Yeah, that's why they're losing right now. All right, I got another start bench cut for you. Class of 83, your class, really good class for guards. Start bench cut, and you can bench 2, and you got to cut 1. Kenny Smith, Pearl Washington, Mark Jackson, Bruce Dalrymple. They don't know about Bruce Dalrymple. And this is just high school. Okay. Who are you going to start?
Bruce came out in 82.
No, he's 83. Georgia Tech. Look it up. I bet you if they get on a smartphone.
Oh, you know what? I played against him. I'm tripping. I played against him.
Hey,
okay.
Ryan, I ain't going to tell him what I think. I'm going to tell him what I know. Henry Bruce Dalrymple, Georgia Tech. But go ahead. Who you going to start? Who you going to start?
Give me the guards. Oh, first of all, Pearl. I don't care who else you have out there. Pearl's going to start.
Did you see him in high school?
Yes.
In a tournament?
He was a man against boys, yes.
Okay. What made him so good in high school?
He was too big. He was too strong. He was too old.
He was like 20.
I know now, knowing what I know now.
He rode a motorcycle to his game.
He could have been 19 or 20.
He was 20.
Easily.
He rode a motorcycle. Easily. Rod Strickland talked about
because they were holding kids back before we were
doing that. Yeah. Right. So you would go Pearl, and then who would you bench? Kenny Smith, Mark Jackson, Dalrymple. You can bench 2. You got to cut one.
I never saw Mark Jackson in high school.
Did you see Kenny?
I saw him. I played against Kenny. And I didn't think there was much difference between Kenny and myself, to be honest.
Okay.
Kenny was fast. He was fast, and he was a smart point guard. So I'll probably
how was that?
I'll bench Kenny.
So
I'm starting
Pearl. Bench Kenny. You can bench one more.
Dalrymple tried to fight me. I'm gonna bench Dalrymple.
Okay.
Yeah, he tried to fight me. He shot me an elbow. And he thought because I was a little smaller that But I play with L. Hut and them. So
so you weren't used to that.
You are, baby.
Yeah. Man, something you and I have talked about, man, and I mentioned a couple of stories here. Give me a couple Raymond Lewis stories. I know the one at Victoria Park, but I want you to tell it. When you were 18, Raymond Lewis was 30, and you were playing up at Victoria Park.
Actually, it was at a Curtis Junior High.
Curtis Junior High. That's right.
Yeah.
He walked in the gym. And
you were a high school All-American at this time, about to go to Cal. Go ahead. I just want to throw that in.
First of all, Raymond Lewis played Lorenzo Romar every year, every summer. Lorenzo played 7 years in the NBA.
Yeah.
Every summer, almost every day, Lorenzo told me himself he never beat him.
Never beat him.
Not once.
And he was in the league.
He never beat Raymond.
I got a Romar story too. Okay.
Never beat him.
So tell me what happened at Curtis.
At Curtis, he shows up. He barely warms up. Doesn't warm up. Gets on the floor. As soon as he gets on in the gym, he's on the floor. This dude, he made me a better player just by watching him. He made my son a better player by watching him. This dude shot jumpers every single thing went in all net.
What if it didn't
Every
go all
single
net?
shot went in all net. He made some shots that were clean that just kind of skinned the rim. He's running down the court cursing. My shit is off. Damn, my shit is off.
And it was going in.
I was shocked. I had never seen anything like that in my life. Like, he raised my expectation for what shooting is, what a good shot is.
What made him so good? What made, because I've heard the stories for 30 years. What made him so good?
From talking, and a lot of this come from Romar. Romar talk. Okay, here's the thing about Raymond Lewis. If you bring up Raymond's name and you ask anybody, and you probably didn't notice, I did the same thing. If you bring up his name to anyone, the first thing they do, anyone, their eyes roll up in their head like this. And they start reflecting on something they saw that they couldn't believe. That's the first thing. The second thing is, and I'm trying to cut it short, they will talk about him for 45 minutes or less.
Straight. Raymond Lewis.
Yeah.
He's the best player ever out of LA. It's not, and he didn't make, you got to Google. They have a whole documentary about him. Yeah. Just go on YouTube. He's the best player ever out of LA. Verbum Day, 71, 72, 73, got blackballed, went to Cal State LA. Tarkanian wrote a book. Tarkanian has a book, Tark the Shark. He has a whole chapter dedicated to Raymond Lewis. The chapter's called The Best I Ever Saw.
And if you haven't seen, if you have not seen his movie, there's a documentary on him.
It's great.
And I always say a player is really good. Like, it's hard to compare guys from different eras. But if you look at that documentary, you see the things that Raymond was doing. You could take his game out of the 70s and bring it right now, and it transfers.
Yep.
And the stuff he was doing, the rest of the world didn't catch up until, like, I didn't see the stuff he was doing until like maybe 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's another story. He goes to Long Beach State. He was going to go to Long Beach State.
Yep.
He was there for a minute. The number one player out of New York.
What's who?
I don't know the name of the guy, but Tarkanian is coaching at Long Beach State at the time. So Tarkanian said, Raymond's in the gym as usual. So this guy comes from New York, and Tarkanian brings him and said, hey, I want to introduce you to Raymond. So he introduced him to Raymond, said, Raymond, this is such and such, number one player out of New York, all city, all everything. This is Raymond Lewis. Raymond looks at him and says, can he play? I said, yeah, he's number one player out of New York. He says, I want to play him.
Wow.
Raymond beat him so bad he wouldn't come to Long Beach State.
Wow. He wouldn't come to Long Beach State.
Come to Long Beach State, the best player out of New York. You know, New York guys always have that reputation.
Yeah, for being really good.
All right, coming out of New York, you know he could play.
Right.
So I went to the UCLA Coaches Clinic, and Romar told a story. Romar was in the league. Him and Raymond played one-on-one one day, all the time, and he went up 12-0 against Raymond. He said, I'm going to beat you. I'm finally going to beat you. So Romar had the ball. He went up to shoot a jumper. Raymond grabbed it, got the ball, scored 13 straight. They played 5 more games. Romar didn't get the ball. Ooh. Raymond did miss. And Romar was in the league. Romar told that story at the UCLA Coaches Clinic.
Filthy.
I'm not going to talk for 45 minutes about Raymond.
But we could, because we've had these talks. I got another one about the 87 summer, but go ahead.
Raymond's in the locker room. He walks in.
Which locker room?
Summer Pro League. They say, Raymond, what you going to do today? He said, I'll probably drop him about 35 and get up out of here. First minute of the third quarter, Raymond scores another basket. They look up, Raymond's gone. That was his 35th point. He just left.
He just
grabbed his bag and left.
Third quarter.
My buddy Larry Jones was there.
Larry Jones from Carson?
From Carson. He was there.
Wow.
He packed the shit and left.
Yeah, he had a.
He said, I shouldn't say it like this, but you got to understand, these niggas can't guard me. I'm out.
They can't guard me. So look.
He scored 60 points against Michael Cooper.
So look, and in an 87 summer league, he had a little bit of a pot belly. He was, 16 years out of high school, 34. He had a little belly. Summer league was at Compton College. He didn't have shoes, so he borrowed somebody's shoes. They were a size too small. He gave Cooper 37 in the first half, took off the shoes and said, I just want to show these I still had it. 37 against Cooper, who was the 87 Defensive Player of the Year. Raymond Lewis. 88. He was at Verbonday High School. Go ahead. You go. I got another one. Go ahead.
This was the most amazing thing about him that I have ever seen. There was a game this year that Steph Curry dropped in like 50 something.
I think I heard about this. Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. They come in the locker room.
I remember this.
And Steph is coming in this year.
This year. Listen to this, Brian.
This year.
When he dropped that 52 against Orlando.
Okay. They showed him coming in the locker room. And I thought I heard somebody, when he walked in, he's shaking everybody's hand. Everybody's dapping him up, telling him what a great game. His teammates. I'm hearing, Ray Lou.
That's what they were saying.
Ray Lou. I turned the volume up. And they were saying, then I was like, wait a minute. They said, Ray Lou, Raymond Lewis. I don't know who.
Maybe Kerr. I could Kerr. Who else on that staff
even knows who this?
Who
like,
knows?
These guys weren't even born when he was.
Yeah,
Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr
would have known. Yeah. And Curry, he didn't say like who's that. He
knew. He knew.
Yeah.
So
because they started a documentary.
They had.
Yeah.
Where Kerr probably told him, "You remind me of
Raymond Lewis," and all you gotta do is watch the documentary. So I asked Coach and I, who Steve Bradford knows, in like '94, I said, "How good was Raymond Lewis?" He said, "Robert, who's the best ball handler in the league?" I said, "Isaiah." "Who's the best passer in the league?" "Stockton." "Who's the best shooter?" "Reggie Miller." He said, "Put all three of them in one guard."
Filthy.
You couldn't guard. Bill Walton said you couldn't guard him. If you got up on him, he'd go by you. If you played off him, he could shoot from one dribble inside half.
Shot all over.
Yeah, he was the best.
Yeah.
To me, he's the best. I mean, you saw him though. You saw him when he was 30, but he's still good.
It was shocking.
He was that much better than everybody.
It wasn't even close. Like all the guys the best out of Carson were there. Guys that I grew up looking up to, and it wasn't even close.
They couldn't do anything with him.
Nobody, nah. And his shit was off.
He was hitting a little rim.
Yeah, he hit a little bit of rim. He said his shit.
So let me ask you this: top 5 you faced in high school, and top 5 you faced in college. Top 5 you saw. You didn't have to face them that you saw. Like I saw, to me, Big John, Lloyd Daniels, my era, Rex Chapman. He was in high school. He was great. He was great in high school.
Yeah, he was.
He was great in high school. Out of Kentucky, he was first one I saw catching lobs and reversing them.
Yeah.
But Lloyd and Big John were the two best. Chris Sandel was nice. Let me ask, who are the top 5 you saw in high school? Played against or saw?
Dwayne Poley scored 43 in the sports arena
against Crenshaw, 81.
And he had that place jumping.
Okay. Poley.
L. Hut.
Big John.
I'm going with the local guys.
Okay. Chris Sandel, no.
Chris Sandel. Now, am I going like younger guys too?
No, just that when you were in high school that you saw.
Okay.
And then I got one for top AAU.
I don't know.
I'm top AAU that you saw in the 90s because your dad had to lead the tournament at Long Beach State. So we talked about Shea. Who are the top guys you saw? Like I'm gonna give you
by far.
Go ahead. I'm gonna give you
Baron
my 5.
Davis.
Baron
Davis was amazing.
Damon
Stoudemire.
Okay.
He came in and gave it to Tyus Edney.
Okay. Oh, did he? 91.
Yeah, and he had a bad ankle.
Okay.
He was like 70%.
Okay.
Lamar,
that's one of mine.
Lamar. I think I'm at 4 now, right?
That's 3. You got Barron. You got Stoudemire and Odom. I'm gonna give you my 5.
I'm gonna go with a guard.
Who's the other guard?
Khalid
Amin. I was there.
People forget about him.
Hey, he played at Connecticut. He was phenomenal.
He had him in the championship.
Hey, Kenny Bruner couldn't do anything with him.
No, he could not.
I was at that game.
I remember he scored buckets on him. What's up with your boy? All the Bloods and Crips, whatever they were, and they was gonna get at him. He was talking to him. He's ran by. What's up with your boy?
Summer of '96. I was at the
like
tournament.
They didn't like that.
I'm gonna give you my 5. I would go Baron Davis. I would go Ronnie Fields. AAU was phenomenal. I would go Shea at the 3. AAU, he was phenomenal. Shea
was unreal.
I would go at the 4, Lamar Odom, barely over Antoine Walker, who was at your dad's tournament.
Oh,
you forgot about him.
I got a Twan
Antoine
story.
was stupid in high school.
I got a Twan story.
And then I would go Kevin Garnett at the 5. Tell me about Twan.
Las Vegas. LA versus Chicago.
Summer of '93.
Big time game. Our best player was Tommy Prince, Tayshaun Prince's brother.
Uh-huh.
Defensive stopper. He could stop anybody. Boy, they ran a clear out for Antoine for game point of the half.
Yeah.
He crossed him, goes up, bangs on him, grabs the ball, and looks at the scouts like this.
Wow. Antoine was a load.
He was 6'9".
Antoine
Walker.
Out of Chicago, Mount Carmel High School.
6'9" guard.
Who was his high school teammate?
I have no idea.
NFL football player.
Oh, wow.
Quarterback. Donovan McNabb.
Really?
Yeah.
Mount Carmel High School, class of '94. Look it up.
Wow.
Yeah. Donovan McNabb was his high school teammate.
Wow.
Yeah. Antoine was a beast.
Yeah, he was. He was unreal. He was skinny.
But I was
a lot of weight.
I was at the game when Khalid El-Amin killed Kenny Bruner. It was unfair. He was way better. And Kenny stopped everybody. He had great defense. He would bully you, pick you up. Khalid was too much for him.
Wow.
Kenny played okay, but it was just
But Khalid was
was a little bit.
Khalid was yeah. Talk about, man, playing with Kevin Johnson in college. People don't know you guys had a 2 freshmen starting in the Pac. Was it the Pac-8 then? Pac-10. Okay, Pac-10. Yeah, come on, man. My bad, dog. It was like the Pac-4. My bad. I didn't mean that. He wrong for that. Cam, he wrong for that, dog. And that's the homie right there. My bad, Wash. All right. So people don't know, 83, Cal had an all-freshman backcourt. You and Kevin Johnson starting. What was that like, man? You and KJ starting in the backcourt as true freshmen. Not red shirts, not holdbacks, true freshmen. What was that like?
Well, first of all, we weren't supposed to start. I think they wanted to start him, but he had a hard time picking up the plays.
Okay.
So he just, in high school, they just gave him the ball and let him play. So he didn't have to run any plays. I wasn't supposed to start because they had some people that were better than me. And one of the things about me is the thing that I think made me a better player. There were always people that were better than me. And I never ran from playing with people or playing against people that were better than me. I think that would make me better.
Okay.
One guy became ineligible, a guy named Willie Preston, out of Richmond, California, which is the Compton of the Bay Area. And our center, a guy named Michael Pitts, going to be an all Pac-10 player. He got hurt. Well, the offense we were running was called the flex offense, which is really complex. But my father taught me that in 8th grade. We ran that. So I picked that up. I knew all the options of that. So they weren't even going to play me at first. They didn't let me get into the drills at first.
Wow.
I guess they were thinking of me long term. But they didn't know I was from Carson and who I had played with. So I was used to playing against very good players in high school. You know, as you mentioned, I played with the guys in St. Bernard's. And all the guys I played with at Victoria Park. You know how that is. There were so many good players there that so when I got to college, I was like, these dudes ain't shit.
Yeah.
Compared to the guys I played against. So I was able to start the 3rd game of the season.
Okay.
And then Kevin started like the 12th game.
Okay. So you started before him.
Yes.
And you guys had an all freshman backcourt.
Right.
Was what's my guy?
Was good.
He was good?
He was good.
Because he led the state in scoring, I think, didn't he?
Kevin
in high school
scored 35 a game. Reggie Miller scored 34.
Okay. So he was 1 point better than Reggie Miller, which is 35 a game.
Yeah.
Up in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was competitive. He's the most competitive person that I met. Like, he wanted to win in everything. You playing Miss Pac-Man, he wanted to win that.
Yeah.
He stopped passing me the ball because somehow I got some girl that was in his dorm. I don't know why she chose me.
Wow. He stopped passing you the ball because of that.
Yeah. He was just a real competitive dude.
Okay.
Like when he was running for mayor, I knew he was going to win.
Because you knew he was that competitive. Have you talked to him in recent years? Have you?
I saw him about maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. At alumni.
Okay.
honored us in the alumni game.
Okay. Let me ask you this: your all-time starting five. We asked Steve Bradford, so you got all-time starting five, one at each position. You got to have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, or a 5. Who's your one?
Anybody?
Anybody. NBA history, all-time starting five.
I'm going.
Who's your point?
I'm going Kareem.
No, give me your go 1 through 5. Who's your point?
Magic.
Okay, who's your 2?
Jordan.
Who's your 3?
I'm gonna pick somebody old school.
So you're not gonna pick LeBron, okay? Big O's a 1. You gotta have a 3.
He played a bit of everything.
Matt, you got. Nah, you can know.
I gotta go LeBron.
LeBron.
I gotta go LeBron at the
Thank
3.
you. You gotta look. Who's your 4?
I'm just gonna throw out Tim Duncan.
That's right.
There you go.
Yeah.
And who's your 5? I'm the same thing. Who's your 5?
Kareem.
There you go.
Yeah.
Copy and paste that. Copy
There you
and
go.
paste that.
There
Copy
you
and
go.
paste that. He right. He
Yeah, he
dead
rocked
on it.
He got
Dead on
you
it.
got it, baby.
See,
All right. Yeah. There you go. So let me ask you this. Who's your 5 right now? Players in the league, a 1 through 5. Who's your 1? I go Shea.
I'm trying not to go Shea. I'm working real hard. If you look at his stats compared to Kobe's,
Kobe's a 2.
at Kobe's elite, his stats are better than Kobe's.
Yeah.
One of my coworkers just sent that to me. You compare their stats, his stats are better than Kobe's.
He's my 1. So who's your 1? Is he your 1?
Right now, I'm gonna go with Shea.
Who's your 2? I went back and forth, Luka, but Luka's not really a 2. So I would say Ant, because Luka's really a 1.
And got a lesson on old school. I'm gonna go with Luka.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with
I'm not arguing with that.
Yeah.
Who's your 3?
Giannis.
No, Giannis is a 4.
Okay, that's my 4.
Okay, so who's your 3? My 3 is Tatum. To me, it's not even. Nah. He old school.
Give me somebody else. If it ain't him, who's it gonna be?
Okay, who is it then?
I gotta go with Tatum.
I go with Tatum.
Yeah, and I got Joker.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like him.
No,
white.
no,
He don't
Joker.
jump. It ain't fancy.
Joker.
But look
hold on.
Look who he's playing with.
Yeah, I go. Hold on.
Nobody else is an all-star on
I
that
go
team.
Shea. I go Ant-Man or Luka, Tatum, Giannis, and Joker. It's not, to me, it's not even hard. Go ahead.
Kevin.
Kyrie, he's not the best point guard in the league. No. Kevin, no.
Kyrie's my sweetest guard in the league.
He's got the best.
Yeah.
But he's not the best point guard. He's good, but he's not the best. But he's good. We'll finish up, man. What's the future of Slam and Jam? Anything coming up with Slam and Jam?
Every year, first of all, every year I get people asking me to start it up again.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. That'd be a lot of work for you.
I've done my time. You know
Yeah.
I've done my time.
Yeah.
It's time
Wash
for me-
about to retire.
It's time for me to grow in other areas.
Yeah.
I don't want to coach. I'll train somebody if it's somebody's kid that I know.
Yeah.
That's not about the money.
But
That's
you're not
about
trying
it.
to coach.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. And I'm certainly not going to start a league.
Yeah.
So
It's too much work.
there's people that have asked me to use the name, but I don't think they'll run the league the way it needs to be run.
Like your dad would have wanted to
You
run.
know,
Yeah.
in terms of just running it the right way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's this guy that wants to run it. He just needs my name, the name, but I wouldn't give him the name.
Yeah. Go ahead, Drake. Ooh. Yeah. Hey, it's personal. Hey. Oh, my boy, hold on. That's one of the best I ever saw. Clifford Allen, go ahead.
I gotta ask you a question. How do you know about Cliff? Okay.
That's the city.
I gotta move somebody off of my 5.
Me too. Because Clifford Allen, how good was? So he's 6'11", never made it to the league. He's out of jail now. Did like 20-some years. He was the center. He's out. He was the center on Mr. Washington's Carson team. I was on the Victoria Park team. My center was Eldon Campbell. Eldon Campbell did 15 years in the league and didn't won no parts of Cliff. Cliff was 6'10", mean, left hand, a dog. Would have been a 20-year pro.
If Cliff was a 9, which he was, Eldon was like a 4. That was the difference in their talent.
Yeah. Clifford was.
Here's a story.
Here's a story. Listen to this.
2 stories. Clifford went to the prom before a slam and jam game that was supposed to start at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Clifford lived with us. His curfew, I believe Pops gave him a break. His curfew was 11. Clifford rolled in at 6:30 in the morning.
6:30.
He came in at 6:30 in the morning, drunk. He didn't follow no rules. No, he didn't follow no rules.
6:30, drunk.
So he might have went to sleep around 7. Now they had to be at the gym at like 8:30 to get the gym ready and set up. He must have slept about 2.5 hours. Cliff scored 40 points, but he only scored 40 because he broke the backboard. Pops was hot.
He broke the
backboard in the third quarter.
So he would have had 50.
Easily. On 2.5 hours of sleep.
So he's my
Clifford,
year. He was the best center. Yeah.
This dude never practiced. He never worked on his game.
How did he
like
get some?
We would put basketball on TV. He never watched basketball. He'd get mad. All he wanted to do was watch cartoons and go to the park and smoke weed with the gangsters. When he moved in, all these dudes that my pops would never let me hang out with, gangsters, just smokers, drinkers, drug dudes, they were coming knocking on the door asking for him. He never worked on his game.
Wow.
That's one thing you need to know.
Yeah.
There was this guy named Tim Garrett.
Tim Garrett. I don't know.
His nickname was 14 Karat Garrett.
Uh-huh.
All league in the WAC conference. He played in New Mexico.
Okay. How big was he?
2 years, 6'9", about 240.
Okay.
We're at Victoria Park. Clifford is dominating as a 16-year-old.
Wow.
14 Karat is on his second year, between his second year at a third year at New Mexico.
Okay.
Clifford's killing everybody. 14 Karat says he ain't gonna do that shit when I get on the court. Cliff is backing people in, dunking on them, jump hooking them. 14 Karat gets in there. Cliff tries to post him up. 14 Karat pushes him out to what will be the 3-point line.
Yeah.
This dude starts draining threes like it was nothing.
Threes.
Because he wasn't strong enough to compete with him.
But he was hitting threes.
He ate 14 Karat up, and 14 Karat was an all-league Division I player.
At 16. He was the best center in the country. He was better than J.R. Reed, better than Terry Mills, better than Scott Williams, and they were the top 3 centers in my class, 86.
Way better than Scott Williams.
He was way better than Scott Williams.
Wasn't even close.
Way better. And Scott Williams played 12 years in the show and, got a ring with the Bulls, Carolina. He was way better than him, better than J.R. Reed, better than Terry Mills. We forgot about him.
Little age on me.
Yeah, we all 57, dog.
That 60 kicked in on me.
Yeah.
Cliff robbed somebody his senior year before he's going to go to Carson. By the way, Carson never lost that summer. They won the Watts summer games.
Did they? What summer was
they
that?
They beat everybody.
Before their junior year or before the senior year?
Before their senior year, after their junior year.
Mm-hmm.
Cliff just put him over. Cliff robbed somebody. He beat up this old man because he didn't want to buy him some alcohol.
Okay.
He left high school, did school, and beat the guy up, got arrested for assault. Tarkanian signed him in jail.
I remember that. Signed him in jail.
He handed him the contract between bars.
Yep. And Carson got to the city finals that year. I was there against Crenshaw. If they would have had Cliff, they would have won it.
Yeah.
Because they had your brother, they had AJ, they had John Howe. They had a good team. They had Cliff, they would have beat Crenshaw.
Sure.
They'd have beat Crenshaw. Yeah.
Clifford
Allen. Yeah. Hey, real quick, shout out Carlton Davenport, played for his dad, Westside Blazers, played at Santa Monica, UC Santa Barbara. The only team to beat UNLV in 1990. Talk about that, dog. Nah. With you, who was on that team? So you were on that team, Carrick DeHart, Eric MacArthur. You guys beat UNLV.
B. Shaw.
Brian Shaw was on that team.
Yeah. And they beat UNLV the year UNLV won it, right? Yeah. 90. Yeah. Shout out to Carlton.
That's huge.
Davenport.
You beat UNLV in the 90s. That's huge.
Hey, what's his dad's name?
Benny Davenport, the legend.
Hey, West Side Blazers, the first AAU on the West Side in LA. I played for him in the 9th grade. I was about the 10th man. We ain't talk about that though. I got better. Yeah, man, West Side Blazers, baby. Hey, he came to see you, dog. I invited him 8 times. He didn't come.
No.
I told him you would come, but he showed up. Wash.
I just want to say, when we played them,
The West Side Blazers?
we didn't beat them that much.
So
His
they
pops
had
was an amazing coach. Amazing coach.
Victoria Park.
But not at my age level.
Hey.
It was back and forth. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because on your era was Robbie Countryman.
Antonio
Gay.
Manning was
Antonio
unbelievable.
Antonio was good.
Oh, he was unbelievable. Like, he was like one of those dudes that's like 5'9", is like a 7th grader.
Yeah.
He's still 5'9".
He's still 5'9".
Hell of a player, but he back then he was a power forward.
Yeah.
Am I lying? He was unbelievable. He was the one dude I feared. He was the one dude I feared.
Antonio Manning out of Hamilton High.
Yeah.
Standout track guy.
Yep.
And last thing, got me an interview for my first teaching job. I got hired because he got me hired
I
at
apologize for that.
Bunch Elementary. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna show you full circle. So he got me an interview at Bunch Elementary in Compton, got the job. The teacher, the principal, Dr. Walker, took a job at a middle school. She was like, "You want a job?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, I'm going to a middle school." I'm like, "Cool." So this other lady called me and said, "Hey, you want a job?" I said, "I already got hired." I called the homie. He got the job at Jefferson Elementary in Compton. So we all took care of each other. He got me hired. I looked out for the homie. We all started in Compton, got out of there as soon as we could. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Hey, quick, fast, in a hurry. Bunch, Walton, and Jefferson Elementary, right? Jefferson. Hey, remember that? It was a bad memory because he had my student, Tommy. We had the same student. I was at Walton. I got hired at Bunch with him. Principal moved. They took me to Walton. Carlton got hired at Jefferson Elementary. It was Jefferson. We started the same year, 91. Where did you start? 90? 89?
88. Yeah,
Okay.
88.
Oh, yeah, you much older than us. My bad. And
Got
this
you,
has been great, man. Episode 41.
In the
We
books.
had Steve Bradford on. We had a LA basketball legend, Carson, LA, Cal Berkeley.
Victoria Park,
Played
stand
for the
up.
Spurs in the in the summer league. Historian. Thanks, brother. Yeah, been trying to get you for about 6 years. Thank you. Yeah, all day, baby. All day. Young Wash. AKA, hey, he got 2 nicknames, Gus and Wizard. And Wash. Uh-oh. You want him to take it? You want it with your phone?
Oh, yeah, mine too.
Yeah, take it with his. Yeah, take it with his, right? Yeah. Yeah, take that one. Yeah. Get in there, Randy. Victoria Park, baby. Yeah, hold on. LA, baby, all day. Go ahead, do it with his phone too. Young Wash. So make sure you send that to me, Wash. We both played for his. All 3 of us played for your dad. That's crazy, dog. Good looking. Episode 41 in the books.
In the books. Thanks, Chris.
All day, baby. All day, baby. Yeah, all day. This was good. Cats came out, dog. Come on, Walk.
Hey, see y'all next week. R&R Podcast. We talk them sports. We talk them cigars. We talk entertainment. We'll be back next week stronger than ever. Check us out. Where the gents at? Gents up in here tonight?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, gents in here. Everybody in here. We got the ride up out of here. Andre Lathan on the boards, the super duper producer. Hey, we out. And we got STEM. STEM is in the house doing all the videos. We out.